Question 1. What does this road sign indicate to drivers? A. Stop completely before proceeding. B. Yield to traffic if necessary. C. Proceed with caution. D. Reduce speed and prepare to stop. Answers is A. Stop completely before proceeding. This is a stop sign. It requires drivers to come to a complete stop before the stop line, crosswalk or intersection, and yield to all pedestrians before proceeding safely. Question 2. What is the primary purpose of shoulder checking before changing lanes? A. To check for speed limit changes. B. To check blind spots for other vehicles. C. To see if your signal light is working. D. To adjust your mirrors correctly. Answers is B. To check blind spots for other vehicles. Shoulder checking involves quickly looking over your shoulder to check areas not visible in your mirrors, ensuring no vehicles are in your blind spots before changing lanes or turning. Question 3. What does this road sign warn drivers about ahead? A. Roadwork is in progress. B. A playground is nearby. C. Emergency vehicles only. D. Traffic congestion ahead. Answers is A. Roadwork is in progress. This sign indicates that there are roadworks ahead. Drivers should be prepared for changed road conditions, speed limits, and construction vehicles or workers. Question 4. In Canada, when approaching a railway crossing with flashing red lights, what must you do? A. Slow down and proceed if clear. B. Stop at least 5 meters from the nearest rail. C. Drive around the barrier if no train is visible. D. Honk your horn and proceed quickly. Answers is B. Stop at least 5 meters from the nearest rail. Flashing red lights at a railway crossing mean a train is approaching or present. You must stop at least 5 meters from the nearest rail until the lights stop flashing and it is safe to proceed. Question 5. This sign indicates a maximum speed limit. What is it? A. 30 kilometers per hour. B. 40 kilometers per hour. C. 50 kilometers per hour. D. 60 kilometers per hour. Answers is C. 50 kilometers per hour. This is a maximum speed limit sign, indicating that vehicles must not exceed 50 kilometers per hour in the area. Question 6. What action should you take if you are involved in a collision where there are A. Move the vehicles off the road immediately. B. Call 911 and render first aid if safe. C. Exchange insurance information only. D. Leave the scene to avoid further involvement. Answers is B. Call 911 and render first aid if safe. In a collision with, your first priority is safety. Call 911 for emergency services, protect the scene if possible, and provide assistance if you are trained, and it is safe to do so. Question 7. What does this sign mean for drivers at an intersection? A. Stop completely. B. Yield to vehicles on the intersecting road. C. You have the. D. Accelerate quickly to clear the intersection. Answers is B. Yield to vehicles on the intersecting road. This is a give way yield sign. It means you must slow down and be prepared to stop if necessary, yielding to any vehicles or pedestrians on the intersecting roadway. Question 8. When is it legal to pass another vehicle on the right in Canada? A. Only on highways with more than 2 lanes. B. Never passing on the right is illegal. C. When the vehicle ahead is turning left and there's room. D. If the vehicle ahead is driving too slowly. Answers is C, when the vehicle ahead is turning left and there's room. Passing on the right is generally discouraged, but is permitted in specific situations, such as when the vehicle ahead is signaling a left turn and there is sufficient unobstructed pavement to pass safely. Question 9. What does this warning sign indicate to drivers? A. Slippery road conditions ahead. B. Road work in progress. C. Uneven road surface. D. Loose gravel on the road. Answers is A. Slippery road conditions ahead. This sign warns drivers of slippery road conditions ahead. You should reduce your speed and be extra cautious, especially when braking, accelerating, or turning. Question 10. What is the correct procedure for making a right turn on a red light where permitted? A. Slow down and turn if the way is clear. B. Stop, yield to all, then turn. C. Proceed if no vehicle is approaching from the left. D. Only turn if there's a specific right turn on red sign. Answers is B. Stop, yield to all, then turn. Unless a sign prohibits it, you can turn right on a red light after coming to a complete stop, yielding to all and pedestrians, and ensuring the turn can be made safely. Question 11. What does this sign prohibit drivers from doing? A. Turning right. B. Turning left. C. Making a U-turn. D. Overtaking other vehicles. Answers is C. Making a U-turn. This sign indicates no. Drivers are prohibited from making a U-turn in the area where this sign is posted. Question 12. When must you use your vehicle's headlights in Canada? A. Only after sunset and before sunrise. B. From a half hour before sunset until a half hour after sunrise. C. When visibility is to less than 100 meters. D. Only in adverse weather conditions. Answers is B. From a half hour before sunset until a half hour after sunrise. In Canada, headlights are generally required from a half hour before sunset until a half hour after sunrise, and at any other time when visibility is limited due to weather or other conditions. Question 13. What does this sign primarily indicate? A. School zone ahead. B. Pedestrian crossing ahead. C. Children at play. D. End of sidewalk. Answers is B. Pedestrian crossing ahead. This sign warns drivers that there is a pedestrian crossing ahead. Drivers should slow down, be prepared to stop, and watch for pedestrians. Question 14. What should you do if your vehicle starts to hydroplane? A. Apply the brakes firmly. B. Ease off the accelerator and steer straight. C. Turn the steering wheel sharply in the direction you want to go. D. Accelerate to regain traction. Answers is B. Ease off the accelerator and steer straight. If your vehicle hydroplanes, ease off the accelerator, keep the steering wheel pointed straight, and avoid sudden braking or steering. This allows the tires to regain contact with the road. Question 15. What does this sign mean regarding parking? A. Parking for a limited time. B. No parking is allowed at any time. C. Parking only for specific vehicles. D. Parking is allowed on weekends. Answers is B. No parking is allowed at any time. This sign indicates no parking. Drivers are prohibited from parking their vehicle in the area where this sign is displayed. Question 16. When merging onto a highway, what should you do? A. Stop at the end of the ramp and wait for a gap. B. Adjust your speed to match highway traffic and find a gap. C. Signal, then merge without checking for traffic. D. Always yield to highway traffic and merge slowly. Answers is B. Adjust your speed to match highway traffic and find a gap. When merging onto a highway, use the acceleration lane to match the speed of highway traffic, signal your intention, and carefully merge into a safe gap in the flow of traffic. Question 17. What does this mandatory sign instruct drivers to do? A. Stop and yield to pedestrians. B. Proceed around a traffic circle. C. Turn right only. D. Merge left at the next intersection. Answers is B. Proceed around a traffic circle. This sign indicates a roundabout or traffic circle. Drivers must proceed in a circular direction, yielding to traffic already within the roundabout. Question 18. What is the safe following distance under ideal driving conditions? A. 1 car length. B. A minimum of 2 seconds behind the vehicle ahead. C. 5 car lengths regardless of speed. D. 3 seconds only at high speeds. Answers is B. A minimum of 2 seconds behind the vehicle ahead. The rule is a common guideline for safe following distance. In ideal conditions, you should leave at least 2 seconds between your vehicle and the one ahead to allow for reaction and braking. Question 19. This warning sign indicates what upcoming road feature? A steep descent. B. A steep ascent or uphill grade. C. A winding road section. D. Road narrows ahead. Answers is B. A steep ascent or uphill grade. This sign warns drivers of a steep ascent or uphill grade ahead. Drivers may need to downshift to maintain power and speed. Question 20. When parking downhill on a street with a curb, in what direction should you turn your front wheels? A. The center of the road. B. The curb. C. Straight ahead. D. Away from the curb. Answers is B. The curb. When parking downhill with a curb, turn your front wheels towards the curb. If the brakes fail, the vehicle will roll into the curb and stop, preventing it from rolling into traffic. Question 21. What does this prohibitory sign signify? A. No overtaking other vehicles. B. Overtaking is permitted here. C. Lane ends, merge left. D. Do not pass large trucks. Answers is A. No overtaking other vehicles. This is a no overtaking sign. It prohibits drivers from passing other vehicles in the area beyond the sign until a end of no overtaking sign is encountered. Question 22. What should you do if an emergency vehicle approaches with flashing lights or sirens? A. Speed up to get out of the way quickly. B. Pull over to the nearest curb and stop. C. Continue driving at the same speed. D. Follow closely behind to assist. Answers is B. Pull over to the nearest curb and stop. When an emergency vehicle approaches with flashing lights or sirens, you must safely pull over to the edge of the road and stop, allowing the vehicle to pass. Question 23. This sign indicates what about the road ahead? A. Lane reduction on the left. B. Road narrows from both sides. C. Road widens ahead. D. One-way traffic only. Answers is B. Road narrows from both sides. This sign warns drivers that the road ahead narrows from both sides. Drivers should be prepared for less space and potentially merge or adjust their position. Question 24. What is the purpose of yellow lines on the pavement? A. To separate traffic moving in the same direction. B. To separate traffic moving in opposite directions. C. To indicate parking restrictions. D. To mark pedestrian crosswalks. Answers is B. To separate traffic moving in opposite directions. Yellow lines on the pavement, whether solid or dashed, are used to separate lanes of traffic moving in opposite directions. Double solid yellow lines mean no passing in either direction. Question 25. What does this sign mean for drivers? A. No parking on this side of the street. B. Loading zone only. C. Stopping is not allowed at any time. D. Stopping for emergency only. Answers is C. Stopping is not allowed at any time. This sign indicates no stopping. Drivers are not allowed to stop their vehicle for any reason, even briefly, in the area where this sign is posted. Question 26. What should you do if your gas pedal gets stuck while driving? A. Turn off the engine immediately. B. Shift to neutral, apply brakes, and steer to safety. C. Pump the pedal rapidly to free it. D. Continue driving and try to dislodge it with your foot. Answers is B. Shift to neutral, apply brakes, and steer to safety. If the gas pedal sticks, shift to neutral, apply the brakes firmly, and steer to a safe location off the road. Once stopped, turn off the engine. Question 27. What does this mandatory sign require of drivers? A. Proceed straight ahead only. B. Turn right or left. C. U-turn is permitted. D. Yield to oncoming traffic. Answers is A. Proceed straight ahead only. This sign is a proceed straight mandatory sign, indicating that drivers must continue straight ahead and cannot turn left or right at the intersection or point where the sign is posted. Question 28. In which situation is it always illegal to pass another vehicle? A. On a multi-lane highway. B. When approaching a railway crossing. C. When the vehicle ahead is going slowly. D. On a curve with good visibility. Answers is B. When approaching a railway crossing. It is illegal and unsafe to pass another vehicle when approaching a railway crossing, an intersection, a pedestrian crossing, or on a hill or curve where visibility is limited. Question 29. This warning sign indicates what condition on the road? A. Smooth road ahead. B. Uneven road or rough pavement. C. Speed bump ahead. D. Slippery road surface. Answers is B. Uneven road or rough pavement. This sign warns drivers of an uneven road or rough pavement ahead. Drivers should reduce speed and be prepared for bumps or dips in the road surface. Question 30. What is defensive driving? A. Driving aggressively to avoid delays. B. Anticipating hazards and driving to prevent accidents. C. Always yielding the. D. Driving only in daylight hours. Answers is B. Anticipating hazards and driving to prevent accidents. Defensive driving involves anticipating potential hazards, being aware of your surroundings, and taking proactive measures to prevent accidents, regardless of the actions of others. Question 31. What does this sign mean for vehicles carrying specific loads? A. Vehicles carrying livestock only. B. No entry for dangerous goods vehicles. C. Trucks must use this route. D. All heavy vehicles prohibited. Answers is B. No entry for dangerous goods vehicles. This sign prohibits the entry of vehicles carrying dangerous goods. Drivers of such vehicles must find an alternate route. Question 32. When are studded tires generally permitted in Canada? A. In all provinces. B. Only during winter months in specific provinces. C. Never, they are always illegal. D. Only for commercial vehicles. Answers is B. Only during winter months in specific provinces. Studded tires are generally permitted only during winter months in provinces, and that experience severe winter conditions, and restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Question 33. What does this priority sign indicate to drivers? A. End of priority road. B. You are on a priority road. C. Give way to all traffic. D. Merge right with caution. Answers is B. You are on a priority road. This sign indicates that you are on a priority road. Vehicles on this road have the over traffic entering from side roads unless otherwise. Question 34. What should you do if your vehicle breaks down on a highway? A. Stay in your vehicle with emergency flashers off. B. Move to the shoulder, turn on hazards and raise hood. C. Attempt to fix it in the lane of traffic. D. Walk to the nearest service station for help. Answers is B. Move to the shoulder, turn on hazards and raise hood. If your vehicle breaks down on a highway, try to move it safely to the shoulder. Turn on your hazard lights, raise the hood as a signal for help, and stay in a safe location away from traffic. Question 35. What does this sign mean for a cyclist? A. No bicycles allowed. B. Cycle track. C. Share road with pedestrians. D. Must dismount here. Answers is B. Cycle track. This sign indicates a mandatory cycle track. Cyclists must use this path, and other vehicles are generally prohibited from entering it. Question 36. When driving at night, what should you do if an oncoming vehicle has their high beams on? A. Flash your high beams back at them. B. Look to the right edge of your lane until they pass. C. Speed up to pass them quickly. D. Close your eyes briefly to avoid glare. Answers is B. Look to the right edge of your lane until they pass. To avoid being blinded by oncoming high beams, look towards the right edge of your lane until the vehicle passes. This helps preserve your night vision. Question 37. What does this sign warn drivers about ahead? A. Falling rocks or debris. B. Steep cliff edge. C. Uneven road surface. D. Mountain pass ahead. Answers is A. Falling rocks or debris. This sign warns drivers of the potential for falling rocks or debris from the hillside or cliff face. Drivers should proceed with caution and be aware of obstacles on the road. Question 38. How often should you check your mirrors while driving? A. Only when changing lanes. B. Every 5 to 8 seconds as part of scanning. C. Only when slowing down or stopping. D. Before turning corners only. Answers is B. Every 5 to 8 seconds as part of scanning. To maintain good situational awareness, it's recommended to check your mirrors every 5 to 8 seconds as part of a continuous scanning routine, along with checking ahead and to the sides. Question 39. What does this prohibitory sign mean? A. Yield to oncoming traffic. B. Stop ahead. C. Do not enter this road or lane. D. Road closed due to construction. Answers is C. Do not enter this road or lane. This do not enter sign indicates that vehicles are prohibited from entering the road or lane where the sign is displayed, typically used for one-way streets or exit ramps. Question 40. What is the primary factor that affects a vehicle's stopping distance? A. The color of the vehicle. B. Speed, road conditions, and tire condition. C. The driver's experience level. D. Fuel level and engine size. Answers is B. Speed, road conditions, and tire condition. Stopping distance is significantly affected by the vehicle's speed. The higher the speed, the longer the distance. Road conditions, wet, icy roads increase distance, and the condition of the tires and brakes. Question 41. What does this sign mean for upcoming traffic lights? A. New traffic light installation. B. Traffic lights ahead, be prepared to stop. C. Traffic lights out of order. D. Flashing green light ahead. Answers is B. Traffic lights ahead, be prepared to stop. This sign warns drivers that there are traffic lights ahead. Drivers should anticipate possible stops and adjust their speed accordingly. Question 42. When approaching a school bus with flashing red lights, what is required by law? A. Pass with caution if no children are visible. B. Stop in both directions unless on a divided highway. C. Only stop if you are behind the bus. D. Slow down and honk to warn children. Answers is B. Stop in both directions unless on a divided highway. When a school bus has its red lights flashing, all vehicles in both directions must stop before reaching the bus, unless on a divided highway, where only traffic going in the same direction must stop. Question 43. What does this sign indicate about the road ahead? A. Sharp curve to the left. B. Dangerous curve to the right. C. Road ends ahead. D. Series of curves. Answers is B. Dangerous curve to the right. This sign warns drivers of a dangerous curve to the right ahead. Drivers should reduce their speed and be prepared to steer through the curve. Question 44. What is the minimum safe distance to stop from a railway crossing if a train is approaching? A. 1 meter. B. 5 meters. C. 10 meters. D. 2 meters. Answers is B. 5 meters. When a train is approaching and signals are active, you must stop your vehicle at least 5 meters 15 feet from the nearest rail to ensure safety. Question 45. What does this information sign convey about the road? A. Two-way traffic ahead. B. This is a one-way street. C. No entry zone. D. Road for buses only. Answers is B. This is a one-way street. This sign indicates that the road is a one-way street, and all traffic must flow in the direction of the arrow. Drivers should not attempt to drive against traffic. Question 46. When parallel parking, how far should your vehicle be from the curb? A. As close as possible, touching the curb. B. Within 30 centimeters 12 inches. C. At least 1 meter 3 feet. D. No more than 60 centimeters 24 inches. Answers is B. Within 30 centimeters 12 inches. When parallel parking, your vehicle should generally be no more than 30 centimeters 12 inches from the curb to ensure it is not obstructing traffic. Question 47. What does this sign indicate about the area ahead? A. Adult crossing point. B. Children playing or crossing nearby. C. School bus stop. D. Pedestrian zone. Answers is B, children playing or crossing nearby. This sign warns drivers that children may be present or crossing the road, often near schools or playgrounds. Drivers should reduce speed and be extra vigilant. Question 48. What is the maximum penalty for distracted driving in most Canadian provinces? A small fine and warning. B, significant fines, demerit points and license suspension. C, community service only. D, mandatory driving school attendance. Answers is B, significant fines, demerit points and license suspension. Distracted driving severe across Canada, including substantial fines, demerit points against your license, and often a license suspension, particularly for repeat offenders. Question 49. This prohibitory sign means you cannot turn which way? A, left turn prohibited. B, U-turn prohibited. C, right turn prohibited. D, no turns allowed. Answers is C, right turn prohibited. This sign indicates no right turn. Drivers are prohibited from making a right turn at the intersection or location where this sign is posted. Question 50. When driving in heavy rain, besides slowing down, what is recommended? A, use high beam headlights to see better. B, increase following distance and use low beams. C, turn on hazard lights to alert others. D, drive close to the vehicle ahead for protection. Answers is B, increase following distance and use low beams. In heavy rain, reduce speed significantly, increase your following distance to allow more reaction time, and use low beam headlights to improve visibility without causing glare. Question 51. What does this mandatory sign indicate to drivers? A, proceed straight only. B, turn left only. C, turn right only. D, U-turn only. Answers is C, turn right only. This sign is a turn right mandatory sign. It instructs drivers that they must turn right at the intersection or point where the sign is displayed. Question 52. What is the meaning of a solid white line on the road? A, lane changes. B, passing is allowed. C, marks a bike lane. D, separates opposing traffic. Answers is A, lane changes. A solid white line indicates the edge of the roadway or separates lanes of traffic moving in the same direction, where crossing the line is discouraged or prohibited. Question 53. This warning sign indicates which type of crossing ahead. A, railway crossing. B, railway crossing. C, pedestrian overpass. D, bicycle path crossing. Answers is B, railway crossing. This sign warns drivers of a railway crossing ahead. Drivers should be prepared to stop if a train is approaching and exercise caution. Question 54. What must you do if you are approaching an intersection with a flashing red light? A, slow down and proceed with caution. B, stop, then proceed when safe like a stop sign. C, yield to traffic on your left only. D, proceed without stopping if no. Answers is B, stop then proceed when safe like a stop sign. A flashing red light at an intersection means you must come to a complete stop, just like a stop sign. Yield to all and pedestrians, then proceed when it is safe to do so. Question 55. What does this sign indicate about parking on days? A, parking is allowed on odd days. B, no parking on days. C, parking restricted to evenings. D, parking rules change daily. Answers is B, no parking on days. This sign indicates no parking on days. Drivers should check the date to ensure they are legally parked in this area. Question 56. What is the primary danger of driving with worn tires? A. Fuel efficiency. B. Traction, especially in wet conditions. C. Increased tire noise. D. Faster acceleration. Answers is B. Traction, especially in wet conditions. Worn tires have less tread depth, which significantly reduces their ability to grip the road, especially in wet or snowy conditions, leading to a higher risk of hydroplaning or losing control. Question 57. This warning sign means what for animals? A. Domestic pets allowed. B. Wild animals may cross the road. C. Zoo entrance ahead. D. Farm animal crossing. Answers is B. Wild animals may cross the road. This sign warns drivers that wild animals such as deer, moose, or bears may be present and could cross the road unexpectedly. Drivers should be vigilant, especially at dawn and dusk. Question 58. When is it legal to make a U-turn in a business district? A. At any intersection. B. Only where permitted by a sign or road markings. C. If there is no oncoming traffic for 50 meters. D. After 9 p.m. on weekdays. Answers is B. Only where permitted by a sign or road markings. U-turns in business districts are often restricted due to traffic density and safety concerns. They are generally only allowed where explicitly by a sign or specific road markings. Question 59. What does this mandatory sign instruct drivers to do? A. Proceed straight. B. Turn left only. C. Turn right only. D. U-turn at this point. Answers is B. Turn left only. This sign is a turn left mandatory sign. It instructs drivers that they must turn left at the intersection or point where the sign is displayed. Question 60. What is the best way to deal with a tailgater? A. Brake suddenly to deter them. B. Increase your following distance and allow them to pass. C. Speed up to create more space. D. Flash your brake lights repeatedly. Answers is B. Increase your following distance and allow them to pass. To safely manage a tailgater, increase your following distance from the vehicle ahead to give yourself more time to react. If possible and safe, change lanes or gently reduce speed to encourage them to pass. Question 61. What does this service sign indicate? A. First aid post or medical assistance. B. Hospital ahead. C. Emergency vehicle parking. D. Fuel station with medical supplies. Answers is A. First aid post or medical assistance. This sign indicates the location of a first aid post or medical assistance, providing information for drivers in need of immediate help. Question 62. What is the purpose of a traffic island? A. To park vehicles. B. To guide traffic flow and protect pedestrians. C. To grow plants and flowers. D. To indicate a U-turn zone. Answers is B. To guide traffic flow and protect pedestrians. Traffic islands are used to separate and channel traffic, provide refuge for pedestrians, and can also be used to mount traffic signs or lights. Question 63. What does this information sign warn about? A. Underpass ahead. B. Pedestrian crossing ahead. C. School zone begins. D. No pedestrian entry. Answers is B, pedestrian crossing ahead. This sign indicates that a pedestrian crossing is ahead. Drivers should be prepared to slow down or stop for pedestrians using the crossing. Question 64. What should you do if your brakes fail while driving? A. Accelerate and try to pump the pedal. B. Pump the brake pedal, shift to a lower gear, use parking brake. C. Turn off the engine and coast to a stop. D. Steer into oncoming traffic to slow down. Answers is B. Pump the brake pedal, shift to a lower gear, use parking brake. If your brakes fail, pump the brake pedal to build pressure. If that doesn't work, shift to a lower gear to use engine braking and gradually apply the parking brake. Question 65. This sign indicates a maximum speed limit. What is it? A. New speed limit is 70. B. End of 50 per hour speed limit. C. Minimum speed is 50. D. Speed limit for trucks only. Answers is B. End of 50 per hour speed limit. This sign indicates the end of maximum speed limit 50. This means the previous restriction of 50 no longer applies, and the general speed limit for the area resumes. Question 66. When are you allowed to use the shoulder of a road for driving? A. To pass slow-moving vehicles. B. Only to avoid an immediate collision or if directed. C. When entering or exiting a driveway. D. During rush hour to bypass traffic. Answers is B. Only to avoid an immediate collision or if directed. The shoulder is generally reserved for disabled vehicles or when directed by a peace officer. It is illegal to drive on the shoulder to pass or avoid traffic. Question 67. What does this warning sign indicate? A. Dangerous crosswalk. B. Strong side wind ahead. C. Aircraft landing strip. D. Road closed due to weather. Answers is B. Strong side wind ahead. This sign warns drivers of strong side winds ahead. Drivers should be prepared for sudden gusts that could affect vehicle control, especially for vehicles. Question 68. What is the for large trucks? A. The area where they can stop quickly. B. Blind spots where your vehicle is not visible to the driver. C. Areas specifically for truck parking. D. Roads where trucks cannot travel. Answers is B. Blind spots where your vehicle is not visible to the driver. There are the large blind spots around commercial vehicles' front, back, and sides where a driver's visibility is severely restricted. Avoid lingering in these areas. Question 69. What does this prohibitory sign signify? A. No entry for trucks. B. No entry for motor vehicles. C. Motorcycles only. D. Vehicle inspection point. Answers is B. No entry for motor vehicles. This sign prohibits the entry of all motor vehicles. Only pedestrians or cyclists may be permitted, or it may indicate a one-way street entrance from the wrong direction. Question 70. When approaching a yield sign, what should your primary action be? A. Speed up to clear the intersection. B. Slow down and be prepared to stop if necessary. C. Honk to warn other drivers of your presence. D. Always stop completely, regardless of traffic. Answers is B. Slow down and be prepared to stop if necessary. At a yield sign, you must slow down and be prepared to stop. You must give the to all vehicles and pedestrians already in the intersection or approaching from other directions. Question 71. What does this information sign indicate about the area? A. Industrial zone, B. Residential area or living zone, C. Commercial business district, D. Rural highway begins. Answers is B. Residential area or living zone. This sign indicates the beginning of a residential area or living zone. Within these areas, speed limits are usually lower, and drivers should be alert for pedestrians and children. Question 72. What is the recommended hand position on the steering wheel? A. 10 and 2 o'clock positions, B. 9 and 3 o'clock positions, C. 12 and 6 o'clock positions, D. Any comfortable position. Answers is B. 9 and 3 o'clock positions. The 9 and 3 o'clock hand positions are recommended for better steering control and to reduce the risk of injury from airbag deployment compared to the older 10 and 2 position. Question 73. This warning sign means A. Change of what is ahead, A. Lane direction, B. Road surface type, C. Speed limit, D. Traffic volume. Answers is B. Road surface type. This sign warns drivers of a change in road surface ahead, such as transitioning from paved to gravel or vice versa. Drivers should adjust their speed and driving technique accordingly. Question 74. What should you do before backing up your vehicle? A. Rely solely on your mirror, B. Check all around your vehicle for obstacles and people, C. Honk your horn once to alert others, D. Assume the area is clear if no one is visible. Answers is B. Check all around your vehicle for obstacles and people. Before backing up, you should always check all around your vehicle mirrors, shoulder check, and if necessary, get out and look to ensure there are no children, pedestrians, or obstacles in your path. Question 75. What does this sign typically indicate? A. Speed limit ahead, B. Distance to a particular object or hazard, C. Road construction duration, D. Exit number ahead. Answers is B. Distance to a particular object or hazard. This is an additional information plate indicating the distance to the object or condition on the main sign, in this case, 300 meters ahead. Question 76. What is the primary function of ABS braking system? A. To reduce stopping distance in all conditions, B. To prevent wheel during hard braking, C. To automatically apply brakes when obstacles are detected, D. To increase vehicle speed on slippery roads. Answers is B. To prevent wheel during hard braking. ABS helps drivers maintain steering control during emergency braking by preventing the wheels from locking up, allowing the driver to steer around obstacles while braking. Question 77. What does this sign indicate about oncoming traffic? A. You have priority over oncoming traffic, B. Oncoming traffic has priority over you, C. No oncoming traffic, D. Road narrows, proceed carefully. Answers is B. Oncoming traffic has priority over you. This sign indicates priority over oncoming traffic is. This means that oncoming traffic has the, and you must yield to them before proceeding. Question 78. When driving near cyclists, what is a safe practice? A. Honk to alert them of your presence, B. Allow at least 1 meter of space when passing, C. Assume they will yield to you, D. Drive very close to them to discourage swerving. Answers is B. Allow at least 1 meter of space when passing. Drivers must leave at least 1 meter or more, depending on jurisdiction of space when passing cyclists to ensure their safety and allow for unexpected movements. Question 79. What does this warning sign alert drivers to? A. Dip in the road. B. A speed hump or bump ahead. C. Uneven road surface. D. Road construction. Answers is B. A speed hump or bump ahead. This sign warns drivers of a hump or speed bump ahead. Drivers should reduce their speed to avoid damage to their vehicle and maintain control. Question 80. What does a flashing yellow traffic light mean? A. Stop and wait for a green light. B. Proceed with caution and be prepared to stop. C. Accelerate to clear the intersection quickly. D. Yield to all traffic before proceeding. Answers is B. Proceed with caution and be prepared to stop. A flashing yellow light means you should slow down, proceed with caution, and be prepared to stop if necessary. You do not have to stop unless there is. Question 81. What does this mandatory sign require? A. Proceed straight or turn right. B. Turn left or right. C. Straight only, no turns. D. Right turn only. Answers is A. Proceed straight or turn right. This sign is A. Proceed straight or right mandatory sign. It indicates that drivers must either continue straight through the intersection or make a right turn. Question 82. What is the recommended action if you encounter black ice? A. Brake firmly to test traction. B. Ease off the accelerator and avoid sudden movements. C. Steer sharply to get off the ice patch. D. Accelerate slightly to power through it. Answers is B. Ease off the accelerator and avoid sudden movements. Black ice is nearly invisible and extremely slippery. If you encounter it, ease off the accelerator, avoid sudden braking or steering, and allow your vehicle to gradually pass over it. Question 83. What does this sign mean for upcoming road conditions? A. Steep ascent. B. Steep descent or downhill grade. C. Winding road ahead. D. Road narrows. Answers is B. Steep descent or downhill grade. This sign warns drivers of a steep descent or downhill grade ahead. Drivers should be prepared to use a lower gear to control their speed and prevent brake fade. Question 84. What is the move over law in Canada? A. Drivers must move to the center lane when driving. B. Drivers must slow down and move lanes for emergency vehicles stopped on the shoulder. C. Drivers must move over for all passing vehicles. D. Drivers must move over for cyclists. Answers is B. Drivers must slow down and move lanes for emergency vehicles stopped on the shoulder. The move over law requires drivers to slow down and, if safe to do so, move to a lane farther away from emergency vehicles, tow trucks, or road maintenance vehicles, stopped with flashing lights on the roadside. Question 85. What does this prohibitory sign indicate? A. Pedestrians only. B. No entry for all vehicles, movement prohibited. C. Road closed temporarily. D. One-way street ahead. Answers is B. No entry for all vehicles, movement prohibited. This sign, a red circle with a white bar, means no entry or movement prohibited for all vehicles. It typically indicates a road or lane is closed to traffic. Question 86. What is the minimum age to obtain a learner's permit in most Canadian provinces? A. 14 years old. B. 16 years old, C. 15 years old, D. 17 years old. Answers is B. 16 years old. In most Canadian provinces, and the minimum age to apply for a learner's permit class 7 or equivalent is 16 years old. Question 87. What does this information sign indicate? A. End of speed limit. B. Beginning of a motorway or expressway. C. Road for heavy vehicles. D. Two-way traffic ahead. Answers is B. Beginning of a motorway or expressway. This sign indicates the beginning of a motorway or expressway. These roads typically have higher speed limits and specific rules regarding entry and exit. Question 88. When is it legal to make a left turn on a red light in Canada? A. Never, it's always illegal. B. Only from a one-way street onto another one-way street. C. If no vehicles are approaching for 100 meters. D. After 10 p.m. on any street. Answers is B. Only from a one-way street onto another one-way street. A left turn on a red light is typically only permitted when turning from a one-way street onto another one-way street, after coming to a complete stop and yielding to all traffic and pedestrians. Question 89. This warning sign means what regarding the road surface? A. Smooth pavement ahead. B. Loose gravel or stone materials. C. Roadwork zone. D. Wet or slippery road. Answers is B. Loose gravel or stone materials. This sign warns drivers of loose gravel or stone materials on the road surface. Drivers should reduce speed to avoid losing traction and to prevent throwing stones at other vehicles. Question 90. What is the purpose of an advance warning sign for a railway crossing? A. To indicate train schedule. B. To give drivers time to prepare to stop. C. To indicate a stop is not required. D. To only warn commercial vehicles. Answers is B. To give drivers time to prepare to stop. Advance warning signs for railway crossings like the X sign or railroad are placed before the actual crossing to give drivers sufficient time to see, react, and prepare to stop if a train is coming. Question 91. What does this prohibitory sign mean about horn use? A. Use horn to alert others. B. No sounding of horn permitted. C. Horn use for only. D. Test horn daily. Answers is B. No sounding of horn permitted. This sign indicates no sounding of horn. Drivers are prohibited from using their vehicle's horn in this area, typically near hospitals or residential zones to reduce noise. Question 92. What does a broken white line on the road signify? A. Lane changes are permitted. B. No passing allowed. C. Emergency stopping lane. D. Separates opposing traffic. Answers is A. Lane changes are permitted. A broken white line separates lanes of traffic moving in the same direction. Drivers may change lanes if it is safe to do so. Question 93. This additional information plate provides details about what A. Minimum speed limit. B. Time of application for the main sign. C. Parking duration. D. Road closure dates. Answers is B. Time of application for the main sign. This plate indicates the specific time or days of the week when the main sign above it is in effect, typically for parking or turning restrictions. Question 94. What should you do if your vision is obscured by fog? A. Use high-beam headlights to improve vision. B. Use low-beam headlights, slow down and increase following distance. C. Turn on hazard lights and stop on the road. D. Drive close to the vehicle ahead. Answers is B. Use low-beam headlights, slow down and increase following distance. In fog, use low-beam headlights or fog lights, as high beams reflect off the fog and worsen visibility. Slow down and increase following distance to allow more reaction time. Question 95. What does this service sign indicate? A. Medical research facility. B. Hospital or medical center ahead. C. Doctor's office. D. First aid training facility. Answers is B. Hospital or medical center ahead. This sign indicates that a hospital or medical center is ahead, providing information for drivers seeking medical assistance or visiting patients. Question 96. When are you required to stop for a pedestrian at a crosswalk? A. Only if there is a traffic light. B. When they are on your half of the road or approaching it. C. Only if they signal their intention to cross. D. Never. Pedestrians must yield to vehicles. Answers is B. When they are on your half of the road or approaching it. Drivers must stop for pedestrians at a crosswalk when they are on the driver's half of the roadway or are approaching it closely enough that it would be unsafe not to stop. Question 97. What does this information sign indicate? A. No U-turn allowed. B. Place for a U-turn. C. Emergency point. D. Road ends, turn around. Answers is B. Place for a U-turn. This sign indicates a place where U-turns are permitted. Drivers should ensure it is safe and legal to perform the maneuver at this location. Question 98. What should you do if your tire blows out while driving? A. Brake hard and steer sharply. B. Grip the steering wheel firmly, ease off gas and steer straight. C. Accelerate to maintain control. D. Turn on hazard lights and immediately pull over. Answers is B. Grip the steering wheel firmly, ease off gas and steer straight. If a tire blows out, grip the steering wheel firmly to maintain control, ease off the accelerator and steer straight. Avoid sudden braking until the vehicle slows down, then pull over safely. Question 99. What does this priority sign indicate? A. Oncoming traffic has priority. B. You have priority over oncoming traffic. C. Two-way traffic ahead. D. Road closed to one direction. Answers is B. You have priority over oncoming traffic. This sign indicates priority over oncoming traffic. It means you have the over vehicles coming from the opposite direction in a narrow section of road. Question 100. What is the zipper merge technique? A. Merging as early as possible into the open lane. B. Using both lanes until the merge point, then alternating. C. Aggressively cutting into traffic at the last moment. D. Merging at a complete stop. Answers is B. Using both lanes until the merge point, then alternating. The zipper merge technique involves drivers using both lanes of traffic up to the point of a lane closure, then taking turns merging one car at a time, like teeth on a zipper. This improves traffic flow.